Right, good evening, everyone. My name is Dundrip. I know most of the people here, but in case there's one or two new people, I'm the SPC, the Spiritual Program Coordinator at Thubten Norbuling, and wanted to be here for the first class in this module, for Venerable Nima's first class in this module. It's actually not the first class in this month, or the first course. I don't know that we've had another teacher that has agreed to teach two classes in the same month, but Venerable Nima was very kind in agreeing to do that. So if you can check out the Sunday night class as well, that's also ongoing this month. It's going to be a wonderful class on um, mind training and dealing with how to um, deal with these crazy times that we're in and our stress and our anxiety. So it's a great class as well. Um, but I do get to have the privilege of introducing Venerable Nima to another group of our students. So that's why I'm here. So we do have the good fortune of having Venerable Nima accept our invitation to teach this module of Discovering Buddhism, the module on how to properly relate to the spiritual guide. Venerable trained for several years at Shravasti Abbey. And as I mentioned last night, also is someone who has taken full ordination vows, which I think, in particular for this topic, demonstrates that she really understands the importance of this topic and the value of this topic. So I'm really happy to have someone holding those vows, leading this particular course. I think that that's very special that we are able to receive teachings from Venerable on this topic. I was remiss, I think, last night in mentioning as well that Venerable is currently studying in the master's program, which is the highest level of educational teaching within FPMT, the Foundation for the Preservation of the Mahayana Tradition. So for many reasons, we're in very capable hands. So I'm thrilled that Venerable Nima is going to be presenting this topic. So over to you, Venerable. Thank you so much again for accepting another one of our invitations.
Thank you for your kind words, Venerable. I don't know that I live up to everything that you said, but here we go. So, yes, I am very excited to actually be able to do this. I love this topic. I think it's a topic that is difficult for most of us in the West to wrap our head around. And so we're going to try to just do our best to kind of massage this topic and see how far we can get with this thought of how we relate to our spiritual guides, our spiritual teachers. Okay. So first of all, let's rejoice that we have this great opportunity. Yeah, that we've met the Dharma and that we've met teachers, right? That we have amazing examples to follow. And let's start with a breathing practice. Yes, so that we can invite our mind to sort of occupy our body during the duration of this talk. Yes. And so we're going to do this a purification type of breathing, right? So where we're going to inhale light and we're going to exhale all negativities. So try to be in a meditation position as much as possible. And if you cannot be in full meditation position, which is okay if you can't, just try to at the very least have a straight back. Yes, do not recline. If you're on a chair or a sofa, do not recline, but sort of come towards the edge. Yes, and try to just make sure your feet are touching the ground so that we can get grounded too at the same time. If you're in a cushion, well, you can do that because your body is already sort of supported by the ground in that situation. Okay, so just for the few moments, we're going to breathe light. We're going to breathe this white light into our nostrils with our air. And we're going to visualize this white light expanding to all of our body, from the top of our heads to the very tip of our toes. Yes, that amazing energy of the purification, the purifying white light. And then we exhale and we visualize that out of our nostrils comes dark, sort of black smoke. And that black smoke takes away all negativity, stress, distractions, worries, yeah, tension, everything goes out. And then again, we're going to do another deep breath, imagining this white light. And we can hold that for a moment, yeah, to allow the transition of oxygen into our bloodstream, and then exhale and feel that relaxation. Yeah, feel that the mind is more calm, the mind is more focused. We're going to do this just a few more times. And again, just notice how this breathing is really bringing a lot of relaxation to the body. Tension is being released, distraction, worry, yeah, it's all exiting with our exhale. And the beauty about this type of breathing is that we can do it anywhere, wherever we feel uncomfortable, yeah, wherever we are worried, whenever we have tension in our body, we can use this type of breathing to release. Mm. So with a mind and a body now more open, relaxed, yeah, in harmony, we can then do a segue and begin to formulate our motivation. Yeah. So think about the reasons why you're here tonight. What brought you here to this talk? And try to keep that very clear in your mind. This is why I'm here. And then once you've clarified your purpose for being here, you know, then we are going to expand that motivation. Yeah. We're going to make sure that that motivation includes an element of altruism. That motivation, yeah, also takes into account the welfare of all sentient beings. So do that, yeah, expand your motivation. And as you're taking into account the benefit of all sentient beings, remember that just like you, every being out there wants to be happy and not suffer. Right? They're like us in that regards. They want to be happy and not suffer. And so make a determination that you will use whatever you learn here tonight, whatever understanding comes to your mind, that you will use that not only to benefit yourself and those around you, the people that you care about, the people that you relate to in your daily life, but also to benefit all sentient beings everywhere, wherever they may be. That you will do your best to bring about their happiness and to help them end their suffering. So hold that as your motivation for being here tonight. And as much as possible during the next hour and a half, try to be connected to that motivation, even in the back of your mind. Just keep it there. Because as long as we have an altruistic motivation, then everything that we do will give us the best results, will bring happiness. Yeah, so, and that's exactly what we want. And after setting our motivation, we're going to connect with the Buddha, and we're going to continue to connect with all sentient beings. We're going to visualize the Buddha in the space in front of us. And we're going to visualize that all other sentient beings are here with us. And they're also going to be listening. Yeah. And we're supporting their practice as well. Yeah. So we're going to bring them around us. We're going to visualize the Buddha in front of us. And of course, we can also have a very vivid visualization of the whole refuge field, if you would like. Or we can also just visualize one Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and then imagine that, of course, he's representing the entire refuge field. So let's do that for a few moments, connect with the Buddha in this way. And now we can recite then our refuge verse. Having connected with the Buddha, we'll say our refuge verse. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Okay. So our topic today, as we talked about earlier, and for the next few Mondays, is going to be a relationship with our spiritual teacher. Yeah? So please keep in mind that I could use some different terms interchangeably. Sometimes I might refer to our spiritual guide, spiritual mentor. I could also use the word lama or guru, right? And so these are all synonyms. Yeah, so I'm trying to convey the same idea, but maybe switching just terms, yeah, depending upon what specifically we were talking about. Yeah. So I want to just see for now a show of hands. How many of you already have a spiritual guide, a spiritual teacher? How many of you already have that relationship established? Okay. Okay. Very good. So some do and some don't. That's totally fine. Yeah. Totally fine. We go at our own individual pace. Yeah, there's no hurry. There's no hurry. We can take as long as we need. Yeah, because it's a very important relationship, and we want to make sure to get it right. Yeah, we don't want to sort of just hurry into something that we may not be very sure about. Yeah, the Buddha said that we should take very good care in terms of making a decision of this importance. Yeah, he recommends that 10 years or more we use to evaluate a teacher. So Buddha encouraged his disciples to take some time evaluating the spiritual guide before entering into a disciple and teacher relationship. So this is not a decision that we should make in a hurry or that we should take lightly, or that we should do under pressure or because our best friend said so. You know, we need to do our homework. So we will go into this with a little bit more specificity later, in the talk. And I'm almost certain, though, that those of you who already have embarked in this amazing relationship, with a spiritual teacher, I am sure you can remember the circumstances that led you to that. Yeah, you can remember how you met your teacher. Yeah, and it's probably likely that you remember how you felt at that moment. And you probably felt like this immediate connection. Yeah, maybe you even felt drawn to that person. Yeah. And even possibly just you were in awe and felt incredibly inspired. Yeah. Some people may cry. Some people cry when they just meet their teachers. It's such an overwhelming sensation. Yeah. Some others may shake. Yeah. Yeah. And some others just say that, okay, well, I was enthralled from the very beginning. Yeah. Of course, it's okay if you didn't feel any of that in the beginning. It's okay too. But some people do say that these are the reactions, right? And for those of you who have a teacher, I'm sure that you have come to appreciate and respect, the teacher or teachers that you have chosen. Yeah. So I'm just going to share with you a little bit of my experience with one of my teachers. Yeah. How I met how I met her. Venerable Thubten children from Shravasti Abbey. You might have heard of her or taking classes from her, teachings from her. So she's one of my teachers, and as Venerable said before, I ordained there and lived there for some years with my teacher and a flourishing monastic community at the Abbey. But I met her because I had spent several years trying to find a way to ordain. Yeah. I wanted to ordain, and I had known that for a long time, but I tried to figure out how to do that. And there were barriers here and barriers there, and it just didn't seem like it was going to happen. I was quite discouraged. And I was at the verge of giving up after I think I've been looking for 5 years or so. I was really on the verge of giving up. And so I was praying. I remember just praying to my teacher, His Holiness, and just asking for inspiration, right? What to do. Well, it just so happened that I learned in this process that His Holiness was going to be doing a 5-day teaching in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It was back in 2007 or 2008. And he was going to be talking about the Lambrim, and it's a very extensive Lambrim teaching to celebrate the publishing of the Lambrim in English. So there was a number of folks who got together and translated the Lambrim in English, and they published that first volume. And to celebrate that, there was this teaching in Bethlehem. So of course, I said, I need to go. I want to go. This is going to be an amazing opportunity. So I got myself to go there. Yeah. And lo and behold, that first morning, that very first morning of that teaching, yeah, Venerable Children was invited to teach. And from the moment she walked onto that stage, I just felt that. I just felt it. Yeah, I just felt that connection. And then she started teaching, and it's like my heart just filled like a balloon. Yeah, my heart just filled like a balloon, and I was just transfixed. I was just hanging on every word. He was like, wow. And then I knew I had to contact this teacher. I had to find out about her. I had to figure out where she was. Sure enough, when the 5 days of the teaching were over and I went back to my home, I immediately looked her up on the internet. And lo and behold, I discovered that she was living at this Shravasti Abbey, yeah, in Washington State. And they had a program to train people who wanted to ordain. And it's like, wow, here is exactly the answer to my prayers. This is what I was looking for. Yeah, so all these sort of happen. And I immediately I contacted the Abbey right away. I said, how can I get there? Please tell me, when can I go? And so I went that very summer. And then the rest is history. But that was yeah, I'm still sort of floored about how that happened. So anyway, that's my story on how I met one of my teachers. So I could go on and on about the others, which were not any less momentous, But anyway, that was that. So why do we need a spiritual guide? Why do we need a teacher? I mean, we're all sort of adults. We know we can we have we've just learned so many things in our lives, right? Why do we need a teacher? Well, precisely because, well, we weren't born knowing anything. Yeah, we didn't know anything when we were born. Everything that we know up to this date, somebody has taught us, right? Every single mundane skill that we know. Yeah, we had to learn to walk. Somebody taught us to read, to talk, to dress ourselves, to tie our shoes, to do our math, to drive a car, to cook. We needed someone, yeah, to teach us everything that we know. And the interesting thing is, even those people who say, well, I am self-taught. Yeah, we hear that. Oh, I taught myself to play the guitar. Well, let's look at that closely. Did you really? Or did you actually buy a book that somebody wrote teaching how to play the guitar? Or did you actually watch some videos on YouTube showing you how to play the guitar? Yeah, we say, no, that was self-taught, but really, no. Somebody wrote a book and you read it and then you practice. Yeah, so there was a teacher involved. And if you watched a video on YouTube, well, there was a teacher there involved too. You might not have gone to a formal class, but certainly somebody did teach you. Yeah. So without a teacher, we wouldn't even know our mundane skills. All right. Someone did that, whether it was a family member or a professional teacher at the school, or a mentor once we got into our careers and our jobs. Somebody had to teach us what we knew. We also have needed role models in our life. Yeah. Someone to show us a good example. Someone to show us what to do in certain situations that are difficult. Yeah. At some point, it might have been a sibling, maybe an elder sibling, maybe a parent, an uncle. Yeah. And then maybe with somebody that we saw on television, some kind of a star, or, so we've had these influences. We had these influences coming to us from a number of places. And we use that. We learned from that. Yeah. We processed that and we brought it into our own way of being, way of acting, way of behaving. Yeah. So without teachers, we couldn't even function in society. Yeah, we couldn't even, we couldn't be a social being without someone teaching us social skills. Now, in terms of our spiritual development, we are like newborns. Yeah. Yeah, we know nothing. We know nothing. Even if we've been in the Dharma 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, we know nothing. Huh? And prior to meeting the Dharma, we didn't even know we had Buddha potential. We didn't even think about the possibility of transforming our mind. We didn't even think about attaining enlightenment. Yeah. We didn't even know there was a path to attain enlightenment. So we have a lot to learn, about how to do that. What is it that we need to change? What is it that we need to do? What is it that we need to practice? Yeah. So we have to learn, we have to understand, and then we have to realize. Yeah? We have to generate those realizations. That really is the key. What we ultimately want to do is generate realizations, Dharma realizations in our mind. And so the thing is, we are sort of swimming in our own ignorance. Yeah, we're swimming in our own ignorance. We don't perceive reality as it is. We exaggerate, we superimpose. Yeah, we are confused beings. We see reality in a very distorted way. We are led astray by our self-cherishing and our self-centeredness. And then in daily life, we are assailed by the results of our past karmic actions. And we're in the midst of great suffering. So how can we hope to find clarity without someone leading us there? And so you're probably thinking, oh, she's exaggerating. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We're coasting. We are coasting. Yeah. But actually, I am not exaggerating. Yeah? That's our situation. That's precisely our situation in cyclic existence. Yeah. And not understanding that is part of our great confusion. It's part of our great confusion. Yeah. So if we don't know, yeah, the first thing about enlightenment, how can we get enlightened? Yeah. As an analogy, let's say, yeah, we want to climb Mount Everest. Yeah. Achieving enlightenment is like climbing Mount Everest. Yeah? We are aspiring mountaineers. We have set our goals really high. Yeah. In terms of mountaineering, now it doesn't get any higher than Mount Everest. Yeah. So we've set our goal very high. That's where we're gonna go. So what are the chances that we're gonna survive the climb and get to our goal without a guide? What are the chances? Yeah. I would say the chances are slim to none. Yeah. Even experienced mountaineers have died trying to reach the top of Mount Everest. So even experienced practitioners get bogged down. They encounter obstacles in their practice, even experienced practitioners. There's all kinds of obstacles in our practice on the path. Yeah. And so who's going to help us avoid or, eliminate those obstacles, overcome those obstacles, if not a guide? Yeah. So in our spiritual journey, we need someone to help us discern what's true and what's false. Yeah. In this example of climbing Mount Everest, we need someone to tell us, okay, well, this route is very hard. Don't go through this path. Go to this other route. It's easier. Yeah. Someone more experienced than us in climbing Mount Everest would tell us, hey, these are the tools you need to have. Make sure you have good oxygen tanks. Make sure you have clamp-ons. Make sure you have this gear. Yeah. Make sure you acclimatize for this period of time before you even attempt it. Make sure you check the weather. I mean, someone with experience will kind of do this checklist for us. Yeah. They would tell us which is the best day to get going, which day we should avoid. Yeah. And then as we go forward, okay, what are the places where there are these crevices where you might fall, right? So someone that has experience can watch out for us as we do this sort of laborious laborious journey. And if we're getting off the path, then that person can just say, no, come back over here. Yeah. So I'm going to read to you, I'm going to share something from His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. Yeah, that he wrote in a book titled The Foundation of Buddhist Practice that was also written with Venerable Thubten Chodron, my teacher, right? And so there it says, chapter 5, it says, spiritual teachers, play a unique and important role in our lives. Qualified spiritual mentors guide us along the path by giving us teachings, dharma advice, giving us precepts. That's so important. Precepts. Oral transmissions, incredibly important. And empowerment. When we are experiencing blocks in our practice, they teach us the antidotes to overcome them. When we have spiritual experiences, they help us determine if the experiences were authentic or deceptive. Yeah. Our teachers can tell us, okay, that thing you experienced during meditation, that's an important thing. That's an important step forward. Or they can say, no, don't get stuck there. Just move forward. Not a big deal. Who else can do that? Yeah. And they can also tell us when our practice is progressing well. And then they encourage us to continue. Those are the words of His Holiness on that book. Yeah. But, there's also people who say you don't need a teacher. There's also plenty of people who say that you don't need a teacher to achieve enlightenment. Yeah. They say it's enough to just buy a lot of books, read a lot of books from the store, and meditate. Meditate as the books explain. Yeah. Well, that may work for playing the guitar, as I just said in another example earlier. That may work for learning to play the guitar, or even learning to play the piano, or learning a language, a new language. That would work. Yeah. However, even if you have an entire library of text, from Nagarjuna, Shantideva, Arjadeva, you name it, those amazing masters, even if you had a whole library, right? Without depending on a teacher to explain to you what that means, what those texts really mean, you wouldn't be able to even understand them on an intellectual level. Yeah. You wouldn't even have an intellectual understanding of the words, let alone hope to have a realization of those teachings. Yeah? Even if you are reading these amazing texts with all this wisdom, without a guide, you could walk away with the entirely wrong understanding, which is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Yeah. So it's possible to develop a mistaken understanding of the book if we don't have anybody to explain it to us. Yeah. So in order to receive the realizations of the gradual path to enlightenment, besides reading the text, because reading the text is important. Yeah, reading the text is important. Yeah. But we also need to understand. Yeah. So we need an explanation from a teacher. We need an explanation. One example that comes to mind is a sutra. It's a sutra. Yeah. And in this sutra, the Buddha is speaking to I can't remember the name of the king. But this king, in order to become king, had killed his father. And he was experiencing a great deal of guilt. Great deal of guilt. Yeah. And the Buddha, to help him, said, you have to kill your father. You have to kill your mother. Now, if we are reading that sutra without any guidance from a teacher, what are you going to walk away thinking? You're going to go, oh, I cannot have anything to do with the Buddha who's advising us to kill our mom and dad. What? So you have to have a teacher to tell you, okay, mom and dad in this situation, what the Buddha is telling, they mean this and they mean that. His desire, his attachment, his ignorance, very specific meanings that without, a teacher revealing that to you, you would walk away with the wrong understanding. Also, you need to receive explanations on how to meditate and what topics to meditate when. Yeah. So who's going to tell us that if not somebody who has meditated on those topics before? Yeah. So the Buddha said, a boat cannot cross a river without an oarsman. Yeah. Like that, no matter how much knowledge we have, without a guru, we cannot gain freedom from samsara. Yeah. Okay. So now let's have some minutes of silence. And what I would like you to do is to reflect on what you have heard, on these reasons why we need a teacher, why we need a spiritual guide. Yeah. Whatever thought has things that I have mentioned, whatever thought has come in your mind, you want to sort of look at that, reflect on it, see how it sits with you, with your experience, and sort of try to get a clear idea where you stand in relationship to that thought of needing a spiritual mentor. Yeah. And if you already have one, then what you want to do is, well, reinforce your understanding of why you need a spiritual mentor. Okay, so we're gonna do that for the next few minutes, maybe 3, 5, something like that, and then I will tell you when we're gonna move forward. So let's just take this time to reflect on what we've heard. Okay. So hold on to that clarity. Yeah. And it's okay. If somehow you still have doubts, it's okay. It's good to know that we have doubts, because if we have doubts, then we can take steps, to get rid of the doubts. And it's totally fine. If you're a little bit more convinced about needing a spiritual guide, that's good too. And if you feel like you're rejoicing because you found a spiritual guide, that's great. Yeah. So we all may be in a kind of a different part of the spectrum on this, and that's okay. We have to work with our mind to kind of move forward, and we're working on it. So that's good. Okay. So now let's talk a little bit about how we rely on a spiritual mentor. What does that mean? Relying on a spiritual mentor, relying on a spiritual guide? Yeah. So we rely on a spiritual mentor in two ways. Yeah. With our thoughts, or through our thoughts, and then through our actions. So relying on them through our thoughts, entails cultivating trust and cultivating faith. Yeah. And these are cultivated by reflecting on their good qualities, the ones that we have observed, right? The ones that we have verified. And we're going to talk a little later about what those qualities are that we are looking for in a spiritual guide. Yeah. There's some specific set of qualities that we're going to be looking for, and we're going to be talking about those. Yeah. But so we rely through thought by being aware of their qualities and reflecting on their qualities. Yeah. And then appreciating them and respecting them for those. Yeah. And appreciating their kindness, being aware of their kindness. Yeah. One of the things that I find most valuable for me when I've meditated on the kindness of the guru, of the spiritual mentor, is to realize that everything I have in my life has come about as a result of my relationship with my spiritual mentors. Everything. My food, my clothing, yeah, shelter, medicine, my practice, my relationship to the three jewels, everything that's important in my life has come about as a result of my relationship with my gurus. And most importantly, yeah, the transformation in my mind. When I sit down to have a piece of food, a piece of fruit even, I realize this came about due to the kindness of the spiritual mentor. So we are affected by this relationship in so many ways. Yeah. And not just in one lifetime. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Yeah. I will read you something, maybe not tonight, but certainly the next time. A wonderful sutta. Not that the whole thing, just an excerpt about this. Yeah. So then what does it mean to devote ourselves to a spiritual teacher? Yeah. For us in the West, specifically in the West, when we say devote or devotion, that word is just so charged with meaning. Yeah, it can be overwhelming, scary. It can be just something that completely pushes away this word devote, devotion. I don't know if you noticed, but this is the first time in almost an hour talking that I use the word devote or devotion. Because it's so charged. I try not to go that route. Yeah. But I found a very good explanation that kind of helped me a bit. Yeah. And so really when we're talking about this devotion or devoting ourselves to the guru, yeah, I found this explanation and I am so sorry, I cannot tell you exactly where I found it, but it says, yeah, that it involves 3 activities. Yeah, and I thought, okay, I can deal with these 3 activities. I can deal with that. What are those 3? Well, making offerings. Yeah, making offerings. And of course, we offer all kinds of things to our teachers. Hopefully, we have that practice of generosity. But what is the best thing that we offer to our teachers? The best thing is our own practice. To practice what they teach us. Yeah? To follow their example by practicing the Dharma, the true Dharma. Yeah? So that's the best offering. And then being of service, offering service, whether it's at the Dharma center, yeah, or offering service if we go to a monastery, yeah, doing things to help, to benefit sentient beings, because that's what the guru wants, that's what the lama wants. And so for us, when we are offering service to sentient beings, we're offering service to the Buddhas, to the Bodhisattvas, to our gurus. Yeah, so that's another part of devotion. That's the second component. And the third component is following our teacher's advice. And based on my experience, I gotta tell you, the most difficult of those 3 is following our teacher's advice. That's where the rubber hits the road, yeah? It's the thing that we like to do the least. Following the teacher's advice. So those are the 3 components. So when we're talking about guru devotion, we immediately get this aversion reaction. Yeah, let's just come back and remember, okay, so that really means just these 3 things. Making offerings. An offering of practice is the best, the superior offering. So I can do that. I can offer my practice. Whatever little I can do during the day of practice. Yeah, if we only have time for 10 minutes, well, 10 minutes I'm offering. Yeah. And then the second component is, okay, being of service. Okay, how am I going to serve sentient beings? Maybe I can do something, volunteer somehow at the Dharma Center. That's one way. I could also volunteer at some kind of a community organization. That's service. I can lead meditations if I want at the Dharma Center or something else. Yeah. And the third component is following our teacher's advice. And so when we sort of distill this term of devotion to these 3 components, all of a sudden it becomes more doable, more understandable. Yeah, it goes, okay, I can handle that. Yeah. So in the West, yeah, we have very little familiarity with this relationship, which is the most important relationship in our spiritual life. Yeah. Yet we have no education, we have no idea how to manage this relationship, how to embark on this relationship. Not a clue. Yeah. And so we are confused. And so I'm going to cover also some things to keep in mind of what the spiritual mentor is not. Yeah. We already covered what the things the spiritual mentor is. for us. Yeah. What the spiritual mentor brings to our lives. And now we're going to talk about what the spiritual mentor is not. First of all, the spiritual mentor is not our father or our mother. No. And that's a very common approach. We think of our spiritual mentor as our teacher, as if he or she were our dad or our mom. Yeah. And then, of course, because we have that idea in the mind, then every dysfunctional situation we ever had with our mom and dad, guess what? Gets projected onto our relationship with our spiritual teacher. And then we really run into trouble. We really, yeah. And so we go to the Dharma center with our teacher, and this teacher didn't look at me. What did I do wrong? Oh, I'm in trouble. He's punishing me. Or, she told me to do this again, and she knows I hate it. Oh my goodness, now I have to do chores. And I hate this chore. She's crackers. She doesn't understand me. She just doesn't get me. Yeah? Or we go into this dysfunctional sibling relationship because our teacher pays more attention to another person. And it's like, how could she pay more attention to that other student when I'm doing all the work and she's kinder to that other student? Or my teacher asked that other person who is a newbie to help him with the altar. And I, who has experience, he ignored me. You see? And then we go suffering, because we are just projecting our family dynamics into this relationship with the guru. So that's one mistake. So let's keep it in mind. Our gurus are not our fathers, not our mothers. Now, they're also not our therapist. Yeah? Oh gosh. I need to talk to my guru right now because I don't know what to do. I have this vexing problem. I can't go to sleep. I can't. I need to talk right now. I'm going to call the center. Can they give me an appointment now, right away, please? Then we go to see our guru. Finally, the guru is so kind. Yeah, he says, come, okay, come. And then we spent an hour telling the guru, and she said that, and he did that. And then I felt this way, and then I had to do that, and then I had to go here. And then it's like, I'm so confused. What do I do? Yeah. So the guru is not a therapist. Let's get that clear. I had to do a translation once during a meeting with a guru, this person, right? And it was very clear to this person, please only advice for practice. This is all the thing that you're going to be talking to the guru about right now. You have 15 minutes to do to request advice on your practice. Fine, no problem. The person walks, spends 30 minutes talking about a family issue. My brother, my sister, my son, and then they did that, and then she did that, and then no. Because she, in her mind, was talking to a therapist, not to a spiritual guide. Okay. Also, our spiritual mentors are not our personal fortune tellers. Okay. I get to go check with my guru to see if I need to take this job or not. I wonder if this job is going to be good for me. Oh, gosh, I really want it to be good for me, but I first need to go to check with my guru to see. Or, gee, I want to make this trip, but I want to make sure that I'm not going to get into trouble, that I'm not going to have any bad luck when I go. So I'm going to go check with my guru because the guru needs to tell me. Yeah. So then we start thinking, okay, our guru is a fortune teller. He can tell us, if this is going to be lucky or not, if this job is going to be lucky or not, if buying the house is going to be lucky or not. So our gurus are not fortune tellers. Yeah. Yeah. Also, the guru is not there to absolve us of our wrongdoing. No. They're not there to grant us absolution, to pardon us. Yes, I gotta go to my guru because I need my guru to just set me free from this problem, from this thing that I did, this guilt. I need him to forgive me, to give me absolution for my sins, all the sins, all the mistakes. And also, the guru is not a problem solver. He's not going to solve our problem for us. We need to do that. We need to use the Dharma. We need to learn to use the Dharma to solve our own problems. Yeah. So that's how we sort of keep this relationship, in the right mode, with the right perspective. The guru will advise us on our practice. If we're looking at something the wrong way, the guru might tell us how to best look at something. What are some of the Dharma topics to consider? Yeah, what are some of the practices we may do? What kind of meditations will help us? That's all within the realm of the guru's relationship. So the guru will give us advice on our practice, what to meditate on, yeah, etc. So now, as we are coming to a close, yeah, for this session, I am going to just list a bit what are the benefits of relying on a spiritual mentor. What are the benefits? And then we're going to spend 10 or 15 minutes on a meditation about these benefits so that we get very clear in our mind, why is this relationship beneficial? Yeah? We already know why we need a teacher. Now we're going to talk about some specific benefits. Okay. And this also is coming from the book Foundation of Buddhist Practice, by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Venerable Thubten Chödrön. Yeah. So, and he says, for our Dharma practice to be successful, we must properly rely on a wise and compassionate spiritual mentor and guide. And so it helps us to understand what are the benefits that accrue from properly relying on a spiritual mentor. Yeah. So then these are the benefits. I'm going to read them, okay? Our thoughts and words will become virtuous because we will follow a spiritual mentor's wise advice. For the same reason, we won't bring more suffering on ourselves or others. Okay? We will complete the two collections of merit and wisdom and attain full awakening by following reliable teachings. We will be able to work for the benefit of sentient beings including those who have entered wrong paths. Because our spiritual mentor teaches us how to purify our negativities, we will exhaust destructive karma. We will eliminate destructive karma that would have ripened in lengthy, unfortunate rebirths. And instead, that bad karma may ripen into something comparatively mild, some kind of a mild discomfort or harm. No? Due to the important role our spiritual mentors play in our lives, we will create great merit. More than is created by making offerings to limitless Buddhas. By properly relying on our spiritual mentors in this life, we will meet qualified spiritual mentors in future lives. Our good qualities will increase, and we will accomplish the welfare of ourselves and others. Under our teacher's compassionate guidance, we will feel supported and inspired in our practice. So these are the benefits. Yeah. So now let's take a meditation posture as best as you can. Yeah. And next 15 minutes, we're going to meditate on these benefits. And I'm going to just read. Maybe we won't get through all of them, but some of them. I will read them to you. And then you will think about this benefit and how that might benefit you specifically. How this would benefit you in your practice, in your life, in the way that you relate to those around you, right? This particular benefit that I will be reading. You will be thinking about these things. And then you would also consider how wonderful it would be if this benefit would manifest for you in your life and your practice. Okay, so let's prepare to this meditation by just doing a few deep breaths, cleansing breaths, breathing deeply all the way to our belly, and then exhaling. One more time, breathing deeply to our belly, and then exhaling slow, gently. One more time, and exhaling. Okay, that's better. So the first benefit we're going to reflect on is that our thoughts and words will become virtuous because we will follow our spiritual mentors' wise advice. And also by following the wise advice of our spiritual mentor, we will not bring suffering on ourselves or others. We will complete the two collections of merit and wisdom and attain full awakening by following reliable teachings. We will be able to work for the benefit of sentient beings, including those who have entered wrong paths. because our spiritual mentor teaches us how to purify our negativities, we will exhaust destructive karma that would have ripened in lengthy and fortunate rebirths. And lastly, we will be able to create great merit, and we will meet qualified spiritual mentors in future lives. Okay, So let's rejoice that we had an hour and a half of virtue tonight. And let's dedicate all this merit so that we can obtain the best possible result. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular may it cause the essence of perfect, pure Losang Drakpa's teachings to shine forever. May the precious Supreme Bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that arisen not decline, but increase more and more. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezi Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. And for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher, an assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings, through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. Okay, thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed this evening with all of you. So thank you so much, and look forward to the following Monday when we shall continue with this topic.